Welcome, my crafty friends, to Creating Smiles with Betsy. Today we're going to make this really cute fall pumpkin card, and without wasting any more time, let's just get started. The stamp set that we're using from Close to My Heart is called Cozy Up Cardmaking Stamp, and it is available on my website through the end of this month. At that time it will retire, so don't waste any time picking this one up. First off, we're going to stamp the pumpkins on 3 different pieces of cardstock. The first is pumpkin cardstock, and we are stamping it on the full strength side. I'm picking up the stamp on my block and seasoning it on my arm. This is something that helps new stamps that hold your ink better. It's twist, 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 tap, 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 and onto the cardstock. What you can't see here is that I have put that piece of foam that comes in the stamp set underneath what I'm stamping on, which definitely ensures that I get a very good image. Let's pick up the second stamp and season it, ink it up with black, and we're going to stamp it on the back side of the pumpkin cardstock, which is just a shade lighter than the front side. Let me show you this. A little bit lighter, same color, a little bit lighter. Okay, and the third little pumpkin we are stamping onto another new color of cardstock called Limeade. So let's pick up that stamp, season it a bit, and twist, 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 tap, tap, tap. And there we have our third little pumpkin. Now this stamp set is available with thin cuts. However, I chose to buy it without the thin cuts this time, since it's pretty easy, straightforward stamp to cut out. It's no secret that I'm one of those nerds that enjoys fussy cutting stamped images, so I have sped up this particular piece of the film for you so that you don't have to watch this tedious process in real time. Next, I'm going to add a little color to the 3 pumpkins that we've trimmed out. I'm using, again, our pumpkin ink pad, and I'm adding color to all 3 of the pumpkins. First to the little green one to make it look like it's a little bit more riper than just plain green. And I really like how this turned out because it added a really nice contrast to the other 2 pumpkins when it's all said and done. I'm also adding color to both of the pumpkin colored pumpkins. Sorry for the redundancy there, just to give them some more shape and dimension when they are added to the card front. Next, using a stencil and a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of white daisy cardstock, I'm going to create a background for my pumpkins. The stencil is from our Dream Maker special we had a little while back, and unfortunately I didn't realize that it was a retired stencil until after I created this video, so I apologize for that. It is one of my favorite stencils, and I would love if Close to My Heart brings back another version of it. We're going to start with Rosy, one of our other new colors, and just stencil in a little area sort of towards the middle, lower middle of the white daisy cardstock. I'm not using a lot of the Rosy because it's really not one of the dominant colors in this particular card. And keep in mind that in this particular location, part of it will be covered up. Returning to our pumpkin ink pad, I'm going to start blending around the Rosy, blending into the Rosy and away towards the edge of the paper, filling up much of the 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white daisy cardstock. I will finish off the rest of the card front stenciling portion with the acorn ink pad, which blends in very nicely with the pumpkin color and giving it just a little more faded out look and a little more brownish tones to offset that rosy color. You may notice some imperfections in my stenciling where I did not tap off excess ink from my brush, but not to worry because I really embrace those imperfections in my artwork. Now I'm going to temporarily place my pumpkins where I think I would like them to be on the finished product. And once I've made that decision, I'm going to lightly trace around the lower edge of their placement with my pencil. I'm doing this so that I know where I want to create a shadow for those pumpkins, as I do not want them just floating on the page. I want something to give them a little bit of grounding. Now that I've determined where to place a shadow mark for those pumpkins, I'm going to come back in with the acorn ink and a small stencil brush and create those shadows on top of the stenciled background. I'm not worried about any pencil marks that may have been created here, because I will cover those up with the stamped images when I assemble the card. I've chosen Hello Friend as my sentiment to put on the front of this card, placing it in the upper right hand corner, and I'm also going to do that stamped in, once again, pumpkin colored ink. Surprise! I'm going to give the pumpkins some final accents with white gel pens. I love the white on colored cardstock. I'm not a big fan of stamping on colored cardstock, but I think this really makes everything pop. Now that we have all of the pieces created, there's not much left to do except assemble. First off, I'm going to attach 2 of the pumpkins right on top of the cardstock, using the lines that I drew on to create the shadow that will show below them. And the third little pumpkin, the little green and orange one, will be attached with 3D foam tape to give him a little extra dimension. And I just obviously love, love, love cards that have something popped up on them. I think it makes them special. And my final touches on this card are the Cozy Up dots that I am using to add little accents and embellishments. A little bit of sparkle above the pumpkins, a couple hearts by a friend. And my card is done and ready to mail. I hope you've enjoyed this project with me, and encourage you to like me wherever you see me and follow along for more fun projects. Thank you for watching.